Have you ever seen anything quite like this? A mother. What happens when she goes into labor in this next story?
A 29-year-old mother in New Hampshire is facing charges for allegedly ordering a friend to shoot her up with heroin and meth while giving birth. Felicia Ferruggio was in full labor at home, refusing to let anyone call 911 for help until she got some drugs. Police say her friend injected her with an unsanitary syringe at least once before the baby was born and an ambulance arrived. Mother and newborn were immediately rushed to the hospital and admitted for several days. Both women have been arrested and charged with felonies and reckless conduct. The baby remains in state custody.
This is sad on so many levels.
Yeah, it's very sad. And you know, so for everyone at home, basically when a mom takes a drug, that drug gets into her bloodstream, goes to the placenta, and it's transferred to the baby. So every time the mom does drugs, the baby does drugs at the same time. So what does that mean for the baby? Basically, when baby's in utero, there's an increased incidence of miscarriage, preterm delivery, stillbirth, birth defects. But aside from all of that, once the baby is delivered, that baby is addicted to drugs.
Yes.
Yeah. So
and
just
needs those drugs.
Yeah, exactly. And so they go through withdrawals, yeah, just like adults would. So these babies are in the hospital. A lot of them don't want to eat. They have tremors. They may have problems breathing. Some of them are so irritated, they don't even want to be cuddled. They don't want to be held. And so it's a long road to recovery. And some of these babies can be in the hospital for months.
What I do find sad is most women who are addicted to drugs when they become pregnant still aren't seeking help or treatment. And that's a problem in our society. I've always thrown out this figure of about 10% of people who have an addiction to drugs get help. 10%.
And that's 24 million people.
Travis, you brought up a good point when you said, you know, people aren't seeking treatment. So I would like to ask you three, do you think moms who are pregnant and do drugs should be faced with criminal charges?
I think if a mother wants to come clean and say, I'm pregnant, I want to make a change, they should get treatment, not only for them, but you're treating the baby. And I think in society, we still struggle with this because it happens mainly behind closed doors. And most women who are addicted to drugs, they don't even seek prenatal treatment, which is the worst possible scenario for these babies.
I think if you prosecute these women, you make it even less likely they'll come forward and seek help.
I agree. And so that's my point too. Like with these women, when they're being charged, it's not that I don't want them to take responsibility, but hypothetically speaking, if you're doing drugs, and someone says, oh, well, if you go to the hospital, I'm going to put you in jail and take your baby. What's the last thing you're going to do?
What's the very last thing you're going to do?
Go to the
much
hospital.
less likely to get that care. And fetal abstinence syndrome, when the babies go through withdrawal, is real. I mean, that's a terrible.
Ultimately, the baby is going to suffer. You don't want that to happen. We know addiction is an illness.
I just hope that the mom gets the help that she needs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I hope the baby has the best possible outcome in this particular situation.
And it also shows what a hold drugs can have on any individual.